Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan Lags, and I am back again for another episode of the HGTV Dream Home 2018 Let's Build. Guys, we're back for episode 3, and we're ready to continue to make some progress today. I have made some adjustments to the build since last episode that we're going to discuss in a minute. And also, I apologize if randomly my character starts walking on his own, or my controller has a mind of its own, because it does. My controller is really broken right now, so don't worry, we have a new one coming in the mail as I speak, so those problems will be solved very soon. But anyway, so just if you're wondering why the hell my movement's so weird, I can't fly fast, my controller is just so busted. So it doesn't really matter though, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I should be able to still build at a good rate here. So let's talk about the build a little bit. Basically, I have made some adjustments to it to try to get my bearings straight in terms of how I want to build this house, because this house is actually not the simplest house to build in Minecraft. Definitely has some things that I had to take liberties with. So we'll kind of discuss those things in a minute here. I'll just kind of replace this real quick. I accidentally double stacked those gray blocks. So you might notice that I swapped out the black concrete powder for gray concrete for those trims, I guess. And I swapped out the roof for stone brick. I thought that was the best way to go after looking at it for a while, just because it just gives me a little bit more versatility in terms of how I can shape the roof. So one issue that I'm running into in terms of continuity compared to the real life build is the steepness of the main portion of the roof, right? With the stairs, I can make it an exact steepness, right? And that is the steepness that is built into the game, basically. The roof in real life is not quite as steep, so it's causing some problems. So I've been doing some experimenting on the back of the house, and I'll show you guys a picture of it right now. Basically, you'll notice that the slant of the roof on the back of the house kind of lines up slightly below the lining of the garage roof. That's, I guess, the best way to explain it. So when you do it with just regular stairs going straight down, it goes well past and could create some problems with this back wall. So I decided to try to build a remedy to this, and basically it's pretty much just a staircase design where it extends out one block every 3 blocks going down. So it just creates a little bit more of a shallower slant, I guess. It's interesting looking at it from different angles, because you look at it from here, and the one that's connected to the house right now looks so much bigger, right? But they're actually the same length. They're covering the same length horizontally. They're just not covering the same length vertically. So it's kind of like a weird optical illusion almost when you look at it from certain angles. But yeah, that's coming along. Hopefully that'll work out. We're gonna maybe do a little bit of roof design today. I pretty much kind of scrapped the house from the first 2 episodes. Not scrapped it, but I did almost restart and started from scratch in terms of how I wanted to design the floor plan, how I wanted to do the roof, just so everything was a little bit more clear for myself. And you'll notice here that I actually just went ahead and built the floor plans for every level. This house is actually pretty tall on this backside because of the way that the terraform works. So we have the basement level, and we're going to have bedroom in here, bedroom in there, bathroom, stuff like that. There's a den down here on the lower level. Then you have the first floor, or I guess the ground level. You have bedroom, laundry room, bathroom, great room, kitchen, garage connection. And then on the top floor, we have this part, which is basically just entirely master bedroom. I really like the top floor of this house for the design, because basically you come up these stairs, and these are separate from the main stairs. There's 2 different sets of staircases in this house, which is cool. And this entire space is master bedroom. So we have master bedroom over here, and there's a little sitting area in the corner. And then you have master bathroom, master closet, and then this is just attic storage space over here in this corner. So it's a pretty cool floor plan for this house. So hopefully all things will come together in the end. But this is what we got so far. Again, I have really cleared the air in terms of being able to see this build now. We have a really good skeleton for this thing now, so we're pretty much about to it's all about building it basically at this point. So let's go ahead and get started here with some of the designs for this roof. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and run this across, and I'm going to have to make some adjustments here. And what I'm going to do is just basically break this part of the roof that I've created and try to connect it to what I want to have as the final product here. So all this stuff is going to get destroyed. We'll just get rid of it. And I made multiple saves so we can, just in case this for some reason doesn't work out, I have extra saves that we can, reference back to, so it's all good. But I really wanted to make sure that I had the floor plans all figured out. Like when you look at it from the aerial view, it looks really complicated. But trust me, it's hopefully it'll all work out now, and we can get going on this build, because I definitely, you know, these HGTV dream homes, some of them aren't, you know, like I said, it's gonna be a little tricky to recreate it in Minecraft, but it's not impossible. All right, we can figure it out. It just, sometimes you have to take some liberties in terms of things and the proportions of the game compared to real life, and we've been doing that for years, so we'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it, but I definitely am worried about this stupid controller. Only a few more days before my new controller comes in the mail. Got my brand new Scuff controller, which is fantastic for Call of Duty and Fortnite, and believe it or not, really good for Minecraft as well. People don't consider these things, but these Scuff controllers, they believe it or not, they're good for Minecraft. In fact, I kind of miss my old modded controller. If you guys remember the old days of like CLD Season 1, I really miss my modded controller, where I could break blocks faster. I have not had the access to that feature, I guess, on Xbox One since we've converted over, but boy oh boy do I miss that. I miss it greatly. Alright, so for this part I think we do 2 full blocks like that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that looks good, right? Sure, we'll go with that. Actually, maybe not. I think the easiest way for me to do this would probably just be to run it across line by line and just fill the whole thing in. Probably the way to go here. What I am going to do though is run this across and connect this to the point where the wall would come through, which is going to be right here. We'll take this up and 1 block closer like that. So there will again be just pretty much a black wall running through here. So this is going to be basically the back of the garage. And you know what? While we're at it, let me just fill this in. Again, we can add the detail of it and the windows later. And I kind of already did this on episode 2. Again, I kind of almost restarted the build. No, I didn't restart, but I definitely reimagined a lot of things. And I think from now on, when it comes to like these types of houses, I'm definitely going to focus on floor plan accuracy first before I work on like exterior. It's just the way to go. It makes everything line up so much better in the long run, without a doubt. All right, so we'll get this all filled in here. We'll take this down to right here, I think, because then we're gonna have another wall here running across, and this is gonna fill in. We'll just do this a couple blocks for right now. It doesn't need to be the whole thing, just so we have an idea. And then, you know, basically from here, we're just gonna be following the pattern that I've already laid out over here. So pretty simple stuff. Take this up, just slab roof for the garage, nothing to it. And then I also have a slab roof above like the front entrance, which still needs work. We gotta do a little bit better job connecting those windows there, but we're only on episode 3, guys. We're gonna get it all looking the way I want it eventually. It's not quite there yet though. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create some checkpoints. I think that's gonna help out. We're gonna create some checkpoints from front to back here. So let me go ahead and take this across, and then we're gonna break through here and then run this down. Okay. So what I'm thinking, so that's like 2 blocks above there. I don't know how much I want to modify the front of the build. You know what I mean? So maybe we won't do that. So let's do a checkpoint from right here instead. See where this goes. And then maybe from here we can just take it down normally, if that makes sense. Because the front and the back don't have to be exactly lined up. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We're not sure yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and just connect this back up to here. Make sure that this is right. I hate to spend so much time working on the roof, but in reality, making the roof look right is like 80% of the job. I mean, the interior is going to be easy. We have lots of pictures to reference. The roof is really more of like, okay, we have to make this work for Minecraft more than anything. And then we want to take this like that, I believe. And we can just kind of add some extra blocks in here just to fill this in, fill those empty spaces. There we go. So again, it's not going to change too much on the front. I hope at least. and that should line up now. Again, let's do some checks here. So, you know, just to make sure that I'm all lined up from front to back, I'm gonna run this straight down and connect it and see how it goes. So we're gonna run this across, and this will hopefully just line up from block to block. There we go, perfect. And this one, we'll do another checkpoint here. Eventually, we're gonna have to get these filled across anyway, so it's good to just, you know, at least start. I'm trying to avoid, you know, I tend to do this when my builds, like I fill things in before I'm 100% sure that it's the way I want it. So then I end up like having to like waste time destroying things later. So I'm not gonna fill the whole roof in until I like 100% know that this is exactly how I want to do it. Okay. So here's my idea when it comes to front to back. So we can make the steepness of the roof different on this side of the garage compared to that side. I mean, I don't know if this is going to look bad or not, but it definitely will work better, I think, overall. So let's see. Here's what I mean by this. From here to the bottom, instead of doing this like little one block extension like we're doing on the back, I'm just going to simply not do that and just make the stairs, you know, just standard gradual coming down gradually, I guess. So all that really does is just push the whole thing out one block from the original, and that's fine, because then we can just run it across right here, and it really shouldn't affect too much. I might have to redesign this awning a little bit, because this is sticking out a little bit further than it did. Maybe, just maybe, this is not the way to do it. And maybe we should do it some other way. I don't know. It's definitely gonna be weird. I didn't want to, like, I was really tempted to settle for, like, the standard roof design, but I just don't think it's gonna work. And now I'm worried that I'm overcomplicating it again. So what do I really want with this? Is I don't want this to go too many blocks past the wall here. So honestly, even like this might actually work just fine, and we can just go with this, and I'll just reimagine that. So let me try to fill this in and see what comes of it. All right, guys, I think I figured it out. This is what we're gonna go with for the roof design. Honestly, I think this is a pretty good way to do it. I really do. So basically how it works is we've made pretty much a small adjustment to the front, where there's like those little extensions on the roof a couple times, right? And it really doesn't affect the front of the build too much. All it really did was extend the roof out maybe like one extra block. So it really doesn't matter, and it actually helps because it allowed me to adjust the, you know, the entrance roof, I guess. So now it actually works a little bit better in terms of like how the blocks connect with the windows and how they connect with these pillars. So that works out pretty good. I think this part is solid, and then where I guess the magic comes into play is on the back here. So I can't fly forward fast. Here we go. Basically how it works is the second that you cross from the front end of the garage roof to the back end, it basically changes in terms of how steep it gets. So since the back of the roof goes down further than the front, I actually continued with these little one block extensions coming from the steepness of the roof to the point where it comes down to about there, which is pretty close to how it is in real life on the actual build. So I think this is definitely the way to go. I don't see myself changing the roof again. And I think this is about as close as I'm going to get for this game. So I think I'm going to stick with this, and what we're going to do for the rest of this episode is start to fill some things in, get some walls built out, and we'll be ready to go. I mean, I'm going to do like a little bit of interior mixed in, a little bit of exterior. I don't know if I'm going to start interior on this episode, but I think next episode I'll definitely do 1 or 2 rooms. Let me go ahead and grab some Swiftness 2, and you know, we'll kind of get this thing going. Honestly, I think at this point now we're at the we can just fill it in process, which is simple. We can just fill it in. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna get the rest of the roof built out today. I'm gonna, well, not the rest of it. I'm not gonna work on this part of the roof over here yet, because I actually haven't looked at it too much, because I believe there's like a portion of this part of the roof that is different. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more investigating on that on the HGTV webpage, get all the make sure I get the photographs I need. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna get what I know I need to fill in done today, and we'll be good to go. I'm probably gonna do the ceiling and the floor of the ground level. We'll get that built out. I'm gonna kind of fill out the garage a little bit as well. We'll just do as much as we can with some of this this fill-in stuff. And next episode we'll do a little bit more roofing and we'll do some interior. So I was a little worried about this house in terms of how I was going to connect it to the sea level. So this house is in it's located in Washington. I don't think I've ever actually mentioned this in the first 2 episodes, but I was putting it in the description. It's located in Gig Harbor in Washington State, on the west coast of the United States, and basically it's a lakeside house. It is a little bit higher off the ground, or I guess off the sea level, water level, whatever, than I have here. However, this is still 2 blocks above the water level, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, and I should be able to build at least a version of the backyard with the space that I've given myself. Again, because of the elevation of this house, not only in order to like kind of make this work, I had to, not only I had to rise the level of the, the road here. It's still only like 1 block above sea level, so it's definitely it's by far the tallest house of the dream homes. Like, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you stand up here on the top of this roof, I know it's going to be, twice as tall as last year's dream home, which is just a completely different style of build. So at least they're going like completely different styles from year to year, which I can appreciate. So it gives me some things to work on that are different. All right, so let's go ahead and fill in the garage roof here, get this squared away. And then I'm going to fill in the garage floor, then we'll do some floors on the inside, and we'll pull our head up and see where we're at. So let's get it filled in. What else do we have to say about this house? Yeah, as far as the landscape is concerned, it's not that bad. There's going to be a lot of shrubbery in the front yard. In fact, a lot of the front yard is like mulch, I've noticed, especially on the left side. So pretty much that whole hill that covers like the main part of the house is going to be like replaced, I guess, probably with probably not podzol. Podzol looks pretty bad in default. It'll most likely just be like coarse dirt. So, oh wait, no, actually, hold on a second. I just brain farted. We're actually not using the default. We are using the city texture pack. That's right. I've been working in the default recently so much with some other builds that I forgot we are in the city. Yeah, so maybe we'll just use. I probably might still just go with coarse dirt. I mean, coarse dirt's pretty solid. Podzol, yeah, Podzol sucks. So we're not going with Podzol. We'll just use coarse dirt. That's the way to go. I would love if we had some sort of autumn colored block, but it is not meant to be here in the city texture pack. We haven't had like a new texture pack come out on console for like city building since this one. And I don't know if we're ever gonna get another one. We've had some cool like fantasy texture packs come out on the Bedrock version when that was released, but we haven't had a new city pack. I want a new modern texture pack to dabble with on console. That would definitely be a way to get me to play the Bedrock version. They still haven't come out with the shaders, I don't think, which is something I've been kind of holding out for. Until then, I'm just gonna stick with classic Xbox One edition, which I just prefer overall, honestly. Just a preference, of course. All right, so here's what we're gonna do on the inside of the garage here. I don't remember what color it is. I think it's blue. But for now, I'm just gonna fill this in around the edges on the double stack, just so I have something to reference here, something to go off of. But yeah, the garage is really simple, and I did some of the garage last episode, which seems like forever ago, because it's been a few days at least since the last episode was uploaded, and I've been pretty much just basically changing everything about this house since then. So it's almost like this is episode 1.1. Just throw the first 2 episodes out the window. Sometimes that happens with my Let's Builds. I started off and, after working on it for like a couple hours, which is usually like the first 2 episodes, I start to go a different direction with it pretty much. Change directions. But I believe we're just going to get this filled in with stone. And I did increase the elevation of the first floor by 1 block. I wanted every single ceiling, all 3 levels of the house, to have the same height. I was really tempted to go with a 4 block tall ceiling on the lower level, but I just was worried that it wasn't going to look good. So it was one of those things where I had to decide between elevation above the sea level and height consistency, I guess, on the interior. So it was definitely a compromise there, but I think we made the right call. So it was definitely something I had to think about for a second when I was putting together the floor plan. All right, so we have that filled in here. This is the garage. As far as the ceiling for this place, we're still probably going to use white concrete. I'm going to say right here. It's probably going to be the spot for that. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like 7 blocks off the height of the house. And the ceiling height for the first level is right here. We actually already have all this mapped out. So I'm just going to run this down a little bit and see how this lines up with, let's say, the front door. So it's pretty much going to go right above the front door. And that's fine with me. That works out because the front door is really tall anyway. So maybe we'll even just kind of continue this through and make the ceiling height right here. Just have it completely consistent throughout the entire first floor of the house, including the garage. I think that's probably the best way to do it. I'll probably just double check my old save. You know, it's one of those things where I can't merge 2 builds into one, you know what I mean? Like I did the garage on the original first 2 episodes, and then I kind of redid the house, and I had to kind of scrap the garage because I wanted to start completely from scratch. And it's one of those things where, you know, I would love to be able to copy paste what I did, but the garage is definitely a lot bigger on this version. I made those really cool glass garage doors. I made those a lot larger. I think they were probably like 5 by 4 on the original. Now they're 7 by 5, so a lot. Or actually, no, they're 6 by 5, a lot bigger. All right, so let's go ahead and fill this in. We're gonna go down to the lower level and get started from here, though. I'm actually just going to go ahead and get this whole wall filled out. And I have no issues with just filling the whole wall out with like white to start. It's really simple for me to come in and when I'm furnishing room by room and change the colors of the walls. That's nothing. I much rather have an idea of how to fill in things and just do that first. I've been doing that forever. Okay, so let's just get this whole wall filled in. Again, this is the lower level, so we don't have to worry about anything underneath of here. That's all irrelevant. It's just space underground. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we'll just get this all filled in. There's no windows here or anything. We don't even have to double stack the other side here. I just did that for continuity purposes when I was putting together the floor plan. I really made sure that I gave myself like ample amount of space for the interior, so you can see like I kind of double stacked all the walls. Sometimes I don't always do that. This time I made absolutely sure that I did. And let's go ahead and fill this in. Again, we're just filling in with oak now. Again, all placeholder blocks. Nothing wrong with placeholder blocks to start off. I'm all right with it. That's what they are. That's what all these walls are too. Okay, so we'll get all this filled in here like this. And that is solid. So of course, right here, this is going to open up. I didn't do that on the actual original, but all of this is going to be open like that into the house. So we'll have the connection to the garage from the front foyer here. We'll have it connect into the great room, and then this way will kind of pass across the staircase that goes down below, and then over here in this corner is going to be the kitchen. So, you know, it's coming together. All right, let's grab some more swiftness here. And again, it's so frustrating not be able to fly consistently. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. I would say it's like 50-50 if my flying mechanic is going to work the way I want it to. But anyway, let's go ahead and fill in some more walls here. We'll work on some of this right now. In fact, I might just fill this wall. You might be wondering why there's blue blocks here on this part of the floor plan. I was actually gonna do this room here. This was gonna be the first room I was gonna furnish when I started working on interior, because we're gonna kind of do it half and half. Like next episode, it's gonna be a half and half. I'm gonna do half exterior work, half interior work. A little bit different than I've done in the past, where I finished the entire exterior before I do any furnishing. I thought it would be cool to kind of see what the house looks like with like some rooms done. You know, when the skeleton is still there. I thought it would just be cool. It's kind of like an inside look, almost like an X-ray. Okay, so let me get this filled in. There's going to be some windows on this for sure. It's just weird how like that side is completely underground where this side isn't. I think that's my favorite part about this build, 100%. Is that there's like cool elevations to it. It's something that we did not see in the last couple years of the HGTV Dream Home. I referenced this a lot more in the first couple episodes when I was talking about how basically the first 3 builds, you know, we could have done on super flats. This one reminds me actually a little bit of the Survival Island Season 4 Brick Mansion, where like parts of the house are at different elevations. It's always a challenge building houses like that, but it can create some cool stuff. Give you a lot of options. All right, so we're gonna get this all filled in here, and you know, we're doing our getting all the meat on these bones, I guess. This episode, this lower level. I'm gonna actually, we're starting to get dark in here. Let me go ahead and get some sea lanterns out, the animated sea lanterns. All right, place those in here. Just start to fill in some of these back rooms with some light. It's gonna start getting dark underneath there. All right, so again, I'm gonna run this down to probably about the staircases where I'm gonna take it for now. I'm not gonna fill in the whole thing, but we'll get a little bit of it done. It's important stuff. And then of course above this we're gonna have the floor coming as well. It's gonna actually allow us to visualize the ground level floor a little bit more. But yeah, again, like I said, every single level has a 5 block tall ceiling. So, or 5 blocks from ground to ceiling, I guess. So 5 blocks here, and then I made absolutely sure that it was. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So had to make those things very clear, I guess. Probably in between episodes here, guys, to expedite the process a little bit, I will do a little bit more filling in of the floors and stuff like that. Just because you guys kind of get the idea with this. It's all it is just filling in the blocks, essentially. So we have this whole lower level kind of built out now. And let's see. Looking pretty solid. All right, so I'm going to wrap up today's episode. Going to get this filled in across here. But yeah, this is kind of like the transition episode, a little bit of an update. I know I made some pretty big changes to the house. I mean, honestly, if I went back and watched episode 2, it's probably not that many changes. Just kind of color choice, I guess, black choice. And then kind of like the real big change was me ironing out the floor plan on all 3 levels. You know, I think after last episode, I think we just had a floor plan on the ground level. Now we have it on the 2nd level and the lower level, so we have it all ironed out at this point. Okay, so let me get all this back here filled in. Actually, all this space back here is not even like really relevant, because that's just kind of where the staircase is coming around. So that's not too big of a deal. We'll fill it in anyway. And this is going to be a bedroom here. So this house actually has 4 bedrooms in it. I believe 3.5 bathrooms. I could be wrong. It might just be 3 bathrooms. But yeah, surprisingly, this house fits 4 bedrooms. It's got, I mean, the 3rd floor, I guess the 2nd floor technically, is the highest floor. That's all master bedroom. The whole entire thing is dedicated to it. I like houses like that, where the 3rd floor is like all master bedroom. I think it's pretty cool. Boy, oh boy, am I excited to never have to use this controller again. It had a good run. I got this scuff, I believe, 2.5 years ago, so it had a good run. It really did, but it needs replacing. Boy, oh boy. All right, guys, I think that's where we're gonna wrap up today's episode. If you're wondering about like these lines up here, like why these are here and why they kind of conflict with the roof and how it runs through, these are just placeholder blocks. Some of these roofs are gonna be like slanted on the interior for the ceiling, so I'm not worried about it. Like this block here is gonna get destroyed. It was just placeholder. Like all this is gonna run across, and all this walls are gonna get filled in as well. This back area still has some things I need to work on, and we will do those next episode. So guys, thanks for watching. It's been Dangeles. I would love to be able to fly and do a little panoramic for you guys, but my controller just doesn't want to move, dude. It just can't fly forward. There we go, we got it. All right, I'm gonna stay flying that way. I never have to come out of it. Do a little panoramic view from over here. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the HGTV Dream Home 2018 Let's Build. We are making some great progress. I think the path is clear to completion at this point. I think we've gotten past all that how in the hell do I convert it to Minecraft stage. Now we're at the point where we're making some good progress. So next episode, we'll do a little bit of interior. We'll do a little bit of exterior. We'll do half and half. And I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been Dangeles. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.